Hi everyone, my name is Junon. I have a health science background and I'm the author of the book Truth and Empathy, How to Find Your Soulmate. And I'll put a link to the book below. This video is a brief analysis of the breakup between Lisa Bonet and Jason Momoa. I think that most people have heard of the fact that they are filing for divorce, and a lot of people asking themselves, oh, what happened? I mean, they looked really happy together. They were together for like 17 years since 2005, and they have two children together. And I think that it's a good idea to look at these examples to better understand the dynamic when it comes to, let's say, what makes or breaks a relationship, especially in the optic of MBTI personality types. I've been advocating that like attract like, and I think that this case of Jason Momoa and Lisa Bonet really illustrates that. So I have typed Jason Momoa as an ESTP. So he is a sensor perceiver. So he's someone who's interested in obviously entertainment. So he's an actor, but also he does, let's say, even his own stunts. So he's someone who's very much the sensor perceiver. But the other aspect is that he's a masculine energy. So he's someone who likes to get physical. Even when he talks, he's very much to the point. You can tell that he's a left brain dominant type of person. Also, Jason Momoa, he's someone who is comfortable in the limelight. So he's someone who is most likely an extrovert. So that's why I typed out an ESTP. By contrast, I would type Lisa Bonet as an ISFP in the sense that as a sensor perceiver, she was interested in entertainment, so she's an actress as well. She also is most likely a feminine energy, so she's someone who's more like gentle, softer, even in terms of how she interacts with her children or her husband. You can tell there's a gentleness to her. The other point is she is not fond of the limelight. Most of her life, I would say that Lisa Bonet, after she was part of the Cosby Show, she pretty much sort of stayed away from the red carpet and being seen all the time. She seems to be someone who can be recharged only if she's alone or with a few close, let's say, friends or family members. So again, when you look at the trajectory of their relationship, it is sort of typical of often what happens is that you will see that people at the beginning of their relationship, they're attracted by the fact the person is different. So Jason was able to be very exuberant and be able to be the center of attention, and Lisa just probably gave him the opportunity to do that. He probably was attracted to the fact that she's so feminine and maybe very motherly. That's why the reason why Jason Momoa decided to have children with her, and ultimately they got married 5 years ago. So all this is that at first this contrast seems very sort of exciting and new. And what happened with sensor perceivers, which is the opposite of sensor judges, is that sensor perceivers are attracted to what is different. So the fact that Lisa Bonet was from a different ethnic group, the fact that she was older than him, the fact she was an introvert, a feminine energy, all of this was probably intriguing to Jason. And actually, he said that very early on because he watched the Cosby Show. He said that I want to marry this woman. But what happens in real life is that it is about logistics. How do you work on a daily basis? Like, who pays the bills? Who will do let's say, the laundry? In terms of like the whole scheduling and all these things. And that's why you'll see a lot of people struggle after the honeymoon phase. So probably what happened is that, especially when Jason's career like took off because he's doing a lot of interesting projects now, he's away quite a bit. Now they see more and more that their differences are not a strength but a weakness in their relationship. The other point is that Lisa would rather stay home, and she didn't go, let's say, on set to visit Jason when he was making these movies. And you have to understand that when a person is a lister, I mean, their project, they're off in a different country for 3 months at a time. Unless someone is very much dedicated to their relationship and they want to work at it, it's easy to drift apart. And they also are very much into just being in the moment. So these people are very driven in terms of their career. So, whoever they leave behind, they can easily sort of forget to sort of really be constant in their communication. Both Lisa and Jason are sensor perceivers, which means that they are the playmate type of romantic partner. And the playmate type tends to not be consistent when it comes to the effort to maintain a healthy relationship. So the other type of people is that after the honeymoon phase, they sort of lose interest. And obviously, when it comes to a relationship, if you want it to last, 10, 20, 30, 40 years, you have to put effort almost on a daily basis to make it work. So what happened is that in the case of Lisa and Jason is that they started drifting apart. And I see the people time and time again, birds of the same feather flock together. I often advocate that a person's best romantic match is their same personality type or the introverted or extroverted version of that type. For example, Jason, who's I would type as an ESTP, would be better suited with another ESTP like himself or an ISTP. By contrast, Lisa is best matched with another ISFP like herself or an ESFP. When it comes to relationships, people who are right brain dominant tend to do better because they're the type of individuals who have more emotional intelligence. In other words, they're able to read the emotional sort of context of a relationship. By contrast, when you look at people who are left brain dominant, it's harder for them. So that's why I would say most likely that Lisa was probably less fulfilled in that relationship than Jason. You'll see that the person who's the least aware is usually the most happy in a relationship. That the moment that they decide to get married, it seemed that it sort of like accelerated their demise. Sensor perceivers, the theme of their lives is movement and freedom. And I think that for many sensor perceivers, getting married, they feel caged in. So it's kind of interesting is that 5 years after they got married, that's when they got divorced, but they were together for more than a decade beforehand. So that's another aspect that is interesting when it comes to personality types. To summarize, I'm not that surprised that Lisa Bonet and Jason Momoa actually went their separate ways, but I don't think that it's going to be a very negative type of divorce because of their personality types. So the sensor perceivers generally are not the type of people who will nitpick and it's going to be very nasty, especially as an ISFP. ISFPs don't like a lot of confrontation, so probably they'll try to work it out, especially that they have 2 children together, just based on how Lisa Bonet behaved with Lenny Kravitz, her previous husband. So I think that ISFPs tend to be the type to want to have a quick and peaceful resolution of a situation like that. And also the fact they have 2 children together. So I think that they want something healthy for the family as a whole. Again, I think that it's important to analyze these situations because we can learn from them and that we can apply some of the rules in our own love life so we can not repeat the same mistakes. Let me know if you agree or disagree with this analysis of this breakup by commenting below. If you enjoyed this video, please click on the like button, subscribe to my channel, and we will talk soon.